Hey guys, happy Friday. It's time to do some operations again. Ooh, it's been a week already, man. But it's been cooler over here in Southern California starting this last Wednesday. Finally cooled down, and we've been in nice, comfortable temperatures. It's been nice and cool down here in the garage, or I said not down here, but over here in the garage. And I figured, you know what? I almost did a video earlier in the week, so you will be happy to hear I'm getting back into the swing of things. It's like summer is almost over, though, you know, here in California it really doesn't end until, like, you know, Christmas, but it's cooler and we're going to do some operations here. So we pick up the camera over here. I think I started out over there at the yard because I think most of the work we're going to be doing today is over in the yard, but we're picking up right where we left off, which is with our little 3 consist local that we did from last weekend. I just left them right here, so let's get them fired up and we'll get moving over here. I think what we're gonna do is bring this guy into the yard. Then we gotta get our 6-axle over there back onto the hauler, and we can bring the hauler into the yard and then maybe do a little bit of yard work. So let's continue on here. Locomotives for 1 car. That's the way we do it over here. I'm going to try to keep the camera swinging to a minimum today. Yeah, I always say that, you know, but we'll see how it goes. But usually with the yard work, it's a lot easier. You can just prop the camera up over there and it's nice and steady. I'm not shaking the camera around, all that crap. Hope everybody had a good week, as always. Looking forward to the weekend. If you're one of those working types, working stiffs. We're heading into the yard lead over here with our ginormous train. And let me back it up over here. We'll set the camera down. We get a little bit of work done over here. Uh-oh, something's crunching over there, huh? Not quite sure what that was. Ooh, uh-oh. Look at that. Well, we shorted out the track here. Let's see what happened. I'm not quite sure. Ooh, I think our 6-axle there is like, dude, I don't want to be doing this. All right, we'll get him back on track right there. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. The turnout seems to be turned correctly, so let's get him back and fired up over here. We'll get the power back on. Get him fired back up. You know, that's the way it goes. Sometimes, sometimes with the temperature changes, let's see if we're good over there. I think so, but yeah, sometimes with the temperature changes here, that's what happens. Actually, I'm gonna let them roll in a little bit, and let's just take a quick look over here. Now everything looks good. Turnout's good. This one's got a tortoise on it now. That's where he's normally supposed to go. But for our little trio of locomotive video, I consisted him together with the yard consist, which is those 2 locomotives. So now I got to get rid of them. So I'm on my yard here. Let me see if you can see that. There we go. There's my yard consist here. So what I'm going to do is go over here, edit the locomotive, aka the consist, and right there you can see I've got all 3 of them on there, and there's our last one right there, UP 9710. I'm going to go ahead, hit the 3 little dots right there, remove from consist, save, and we're all good. There we go. So now that guy is no longer consisted with those 2. But, you know, we got to kind of We gotta kind of fudge it over here. Let's get these two guys together. There we go. Yep, sounding good. All right, brakes off. And yeah, let's see what we're gonna do. Well, we're gonna run this guy like, well, hold on, I gotta pause here. So now our 6-axle over here, find him on my controller here. Let me see, where is he? And there he is, UP so-and-so. We'll turn all the lights off, shut him down, which I think he's already shut down, and then just quiet him down. There we go. All right, now back into the yard consist. I know, you're like, I don't see anything there, Engineer Rick. Hold it up to the camera. All right, there we go. So, we're gonna run this guy out, and he's got to get all these other cars over there ready for the hauler. So this little flat car that we came in with, and all of the cars there, you see the tank car and all those other box cars, they all got to get put down on the departure track, which is this track right over here. So we're just going to go in, grab all these guys, pretty much as is, I think. And then we'll run the hauler in with all these other cars, and this will be kind of like a mini sort of behind the scenes, actually. I'm gonna put that down there. I'm gonna check my turnouts back here. That's all good. And let's see. Like I was going to say, so now yeah, this will be a little bit sort of behind the scenes here, because, you know, I'm picking locomotives up with my hands and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, sometimes you got to do that here, especially before we get to the proper sort of yard work here. Let me see, we'll put that right there. Now, I think what we're going to do is we'll grab, right there's good. We're gonna grab the box car and the two tank cars right there, which are on this track right there. Then we'll grab the other cars there, starting with that blue one right next door. Ooh, right there's good. Yeah, we got them all. Yeah, we'll grab the other two cars there, starting with that blue one, then put them all on the departure track, which is this track right here. Right? Yeah, that's right. And then we'll jump into the hauler, bring the hauler around. And for our little background, you know, behind the scenes sort of portion here, I gotta kind of switch around a few of the cars here. I'll show you how I do this, you know, with my hauler. So the hauler technically is sort of in staging, even though you see it, you know, sitting right, or is it right there? We're kind of using that as staging, since I don't have my staging built yet. Hopefully, well, we'll see if we get that done here sooner than later. All right, right there is good. We'll start backing up into the next track. So I have a couple of cars that I always have to kind of switch around when I do my hauler. So usually the lumber car, because I have one lumber car that has a load on it, a center beam car. So I have one that has a load on it, and then one that's empty. And I usually just kind of swap them out. Now I've got like one of the, you know, Walters, I think it is, Right there's good. You know, the plastic kind of load that, you know, you snap together on either side. But they're kind of a pain in the butt to unsnap and all that, so I don't bother with it. And I know somebody said, you know, you cut the snaps off or whatever and just put a couple magnets, glue some magnets into there, and that way you can kind of undo the load. But I just haven't gotten around to that. It's on the list of many things to do here on the layout. But in the meantime, while we roll out of the yard over here, let me show you what's going on back here. Yeah, we're kind of rolling out into the main line back there through our little cubby hole. Checking my track. Well, you know what? And of course, my track way back there, just past the bridge over there that goes down into Huntington Beach. I didn't change the turnout, so we don't want to short the layout out again. So let's pop back in here, because we're gonna have to run across this. All right, there we go. That's what happens when you don't plan stuff. All right, come back here. Let's keep on pulling out here. So I gotta go out a little bit farther right there, as you can tell, and run over that turnout. So the tail end of our train here can clear the turnout for the departure track. All right there's good. I shall flop that over, and that one back there. Whew, all sorts of horns going on over there. Okay, I think I got my track turnout set right. Anyway, yeah, so it's always interesting. I hear people talking about, you know, temperature changes affecting your track work and stuff like that. And generally, I really don't have that issue here, even though it gets pretty hot in here. You know, like it was 115, you know, earlier in the week, outside that is. So it must have been at least, you know, hotter than heck in here. You know, and then it'll be, you know, we'll get down to like, you know, the high 30s or something, you know, overnight in the winter if we get a little cold spell. You know, so it can get down to like 40 or something down in the garage over here. All right, right there is good. Let's grab a skewer, disconnect this guy. But generally, I don't have any trouble with my track kind of, you know, whatever you call it, you know, bulging, twisting, you know, with the heat and the cold or anything like that. Now, my joiners, I do not solder them. So there's just a rail joiner, and there's always a little bit of a gap here and there, you know, because when I laid the track down, it's... what do you call it? You know, you use your Dremel to cut a lot of the track and stuff like that. So I always have a little bit of space all over the layout. And so I think that maybe just helps enough with like the expansion with the temperatures and stuff like that. Because I never have any trouble with, like, you know, I've seen other guys, you know, the track is like literally like kinked and bowed out or anything like that, and I've just never had any kind of issues like that. And maybe it's just the way that I did that, where I did not solder the joints. But and then you say, well, you might have the connectivity issues. Well, every single individual piece of track has got drops to it, so doesn't matter how small it is. There's a couple places where it's like a 2-inch section of track, and I have got, we're gonna go all the way to the end over here. I've got a drop for every single piece of track, so I don't need to solder my joints. Now, if the drop goes bad, then I have issues, which we've had a couple of those in the past. They're, you know, just whatever. I use suitcase connectors. They're not 100% perfect, although I think they kind of get a bad rap because you know, it saves a lot of soldering and stuff like that. And for the most part, you know, every once in a while there might be one little trouble spot where, you know, the connector, you know, the wire gets loose or something like that within the connector. It doesn't make the perfect contact, but for the most part, I'd say like 99% of the time they work perfect. And so I'm able to live with that. All right, we'll get our yard little consist back over here towards the other end, and then we'll jump in the hauler, run that around. And well, first I gotta show you the behind the scenes part, which is gonna be these three cars right here. Like I was saying, I got the center beam right here is empty, so well, that's not the way it would work here. The hauler, which is in staging right here, our pseudo staging, is gonna come in with a new load. So I gotta swap this car out with the one that's loaded over at what is it? Not Reliable Lumber over there in Huntington Beach. And then we've got our two gondolas over here. You can see they pulled a load out. I guess over at Sanford and Son, that's where these gondolas go. Let me just quiet that guy down. All right. Yeah, so the two gondolas usually go over to Sanford and Son Salvage, and they pick up stuff and then take it off the layout. And you can see that's what this guy did, and now he's going to be heading back as a new train. But we got to get rid of the loads. And so what I do here, this load is easy, because this load is just a little piece of aluminum foil kind of crunched up to stick in there. So we're going to put that in the gondola sitting over there at Sanford and Son. And then this load right here, I've mentioned this before, this is just a bunch of parts from model kits. And I have them super glued to just a piece of little foam board that I cut that fits right in there, and then just weathered it all up, painted it all up. You can see there's all sorts of stuff in here from you know, armor kits and whatever, pieces of sprue and stuff like that. So we'll grab that, and then we shall grab finally our empty center beam here. I got to do this with one hand here. So here's the loaded center beam, and this is the stuff I was talking about. You know, it snaps together on either side, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So we're basically just gonna switch cars like that. And so now we have got our empty over here. That one's gonna go back over to the hauler. We'll grab our loads over here. And you can see over here, we're just going to plop this down. I can't remember which one's which. I think this one goes in that. And this one goes in here. There we go. Loaded cars ready for pickup. So that's a little behind the scenes kind of stuff that I do over here. Just to make things easy on myself. All right, now we got to kind of fit this guy back in here. Get him settled in. Oop, come on. All right, we'll grab that. We'll grab that. There we go. Make sure they're all good, because I don't want to be derailed here. No, everything looks good. All right. Whew. The next hauler is ready to haul back into the yard here. All right, we'll get the bridge down. We shall get our camera put down so we can stop the shaking. All right, now I got to jump into the hauler, which is my UP 6-axle there. There we go. Get that on. Get that on. Brakes on. Get all the lights on. Get them fired up. And as always, my BNSF guy is just a dummy. I took the worm drives out of there, disconnected the motor, you know, power leads, and he still have light. He does have lights. I can turn the headlight on, but I'm not going to do it right here. All right. So you got to kind of imagine that this guy is sitting out in staging, kind of like back there by the paddle board. Brakes off. Ooh, I heard something click. Let me see. Is it the locomotive? Let me take a quick look at the wheels here. Now everything looks good there. I think it might have just kind of been off the track just a little bit. All right. So he's coming out of staging, and I'm gonna change my turnout back there at the other end of the yard lead, because this is like kind of my, well, you know, even though I'm using it as staging, it's my one little loop that goes all the way around, so I can always run a train like this hauler sort of around, just have it going around in a loop while I'm doing switching out there, so it can act as a spoiler too, kind of the spoiler train. You know, we got to work around because he's just running around in a big loop over here. Boy, you know what? There's a fly flying around. I don't know if I caught him on camera, but he's driving me bananas. Goodness sakes. He's someplace over there, flying around, making my life miserable over here. All right, well, we made, let's see if we make it through that little section right there. I don't know if there's a little piece of dirt or whatever. Maybe a little piece of gravel down there. I'm going to slow him down just a bit since the tail end is out, so we can kind of follow him around here a little bit. So there's our hauler coming out of staging, and then he's going to come back around into the yard. Just double checking my turnouts here. Anyway, like I said, it's finally cooler over here, so I expect to be doing, well, don't quote me on it, but I expect to be doing more videos and getting some more work done on the layout here now that it's finally a little bit more comfortable and got a little bit more free time. Gotta honk for the horses over here. So if you're new, basically what staging is going to be, because everybody else already knows, staging is actually going to be a hole. We're going to cut a hole right back there where that tree is probably, have a turnout back here that goes back outside of there, and we'll have staging way back there. Now I stopped him because I got to come over here and make sure my turnouts are good, because I can't remember if I knew I did not. So we gotta go. Oh no, I had it good. Yeah, yard. Okay, there we go. And then I'll get my turnouts done over here so we can run into the yard. I think that's going to be it for today. Because as usual, my camera is telling me, hey, time limit. I'm starting to get hot. The camera, that is. I was hoping it'd run a little bit longer since it's a little bit cooler here, but you know, when you film in 4K, the camera gets kind of hot. And it starts giving me a temperature warning. Alright, anyway, we're coming into the yard with the hauler. Let me go ahead and put the camera down over here. where you can see stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and put my bridge down. Make sure my turnouts are all good. Yes, they are. So I think the next video will run the hauler with the our cars over here out of the layout, and then all of these cars that are coming in right now, we can do some yard classification work here. Almost there. I'm looking over there at the tail end. Just got to get them in the yard right here, and we'll call it a day. All right, right there. Right there is good. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little bit behind the scenes, just getting stuff ready over here, running a few trains on a nice, cool Friday morning. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which hopefully won't be as long as a week. Might be a little bit sooner there. Take care, guys.